So our equation is x squared plus 6x plus 9 all over x plus 3. Now we have to factor this out, and the factor form is x plus 3 times x plus 3 all over x plus 3. Now we have to cross off the value of x plus 3 in the numerator and denominator because they're the same. Now we have to find the whole, and we have to set the cross off value equal to 0. In this case, it's x plus 3. So we have to do x plus 3 is equal to 0. And then we get x is equal to negative 3. Now we have to set this equal to 0. So the whole is located at negative 3, 0. For the x-intercept, we have to set the numerator equal to 0. Since it's already been simplified, we get that the x-intercept is negative 3. So the x-intercept is located at negative 3, 0. For the y-intercept, we have to set all the x values equal to 0. In this case, we only have 1 x plus 3. So we have to set the x equal to 0, and we get 0, 3. The vertical asymptote, we have to set the denominator equal to 0. In this case, we don't have any because it's already been crossed out. For the horizontal asymptote, since the top degree is less than the bottom degree, and we can add the denominator plus 1 to get the numerator, we can do long division or synthetic division. In this case, we're going to use synthetic division. The horizontal asymptote is located at x plus 3. Now we will graph. The first thing that we're going to put is the whole, which is located at negative 3, 0. Then we will put the y-intercept, and we will put our horizontal asymptote, which is x plus 3. Now we will put values of x and y in order to plot them on the graph. In order to find the values of x and y, we have to plug in the x values into the simplified equation. Now we will plot them. So we will look at this and plot. So this is our graph. Now we will find the domain and range. The domain will be negative infinity to positive infinity, and then the range will be negative infinity to positive infinity.
Our next expression will be x squared plus 2x minus 15 over x squared minus 9. First, we will factor in by completing the square, which will be x minus 3 by x plus 5 over x plus 3 by x minus 3. Now we will find the whole. For the x value, cross off the x minus 3 on the numerator and the denominator. Then you set x minus 3 equals 0, which will give you x equals 3. For the y value, substitute the x's in the simplified equation by 3, and you'll end up with 4/3. For the x-intercept, set x plus 5 equals 0, which will be x equals negative 5. So your x-intercept is negative 5, 0. For the y-intercept, plug in 0 for the x's in the simplified equation, so you will end up with 5/3. The y-intercept is 0, 5/3. For the vertical asymptote, put x plus 3 equals 0, which will give you x equals negative 3. For horizontal asymptote, as you have the same degree in the numerator and the denominator, you will use the ratio of the leading coefficient, making it y equals 1. We will graph. Make a table with your x and y values by substituting the x's in your simplified equation to get the y values. First, draw your vertical asymptote, which is x equals -3. Then draw your horizontal asymptote, that is y equals 1. Plug in your hole and your x and y intercepts and start plotting the points from your table. After you've plotted your points, draw the lines that go through the points. Don't forget to put the arrows at the end of your lines. The domain will be -infinity to -3, u -3 to infinity. The range will be -infinity to 1, u 1 to infinity. Now we're going to do 4x plus 7 divided by x squared minus 15x plus 56. First, you need to factor. As you can see, you can't do anything in the numerator, so you leave it like that. Then you're going to factor the denominator, which will be x minus 7 and x minus 8. Then you need to see if there's any holes in the equation, which there aren't any as none of the expressions are the same. Next, find your x-intercept by setting your denominator equal to 0, which will be 4x plus 7 equals 0. And your result will be x equals -7 over 4, making it -7 over 4, 0. For the y-intercept, substitute all the x's of your factored equation for 0. And your results will be 1 over 8, making it 0, 1 over 8. For the vertical asymptote, set the denominator equal to 0, which will be x minus 7 equals 0 and x minus 8 equals 0. My answer should be x equals 7 and x equals 8. For the horizontal asymptote, as the degree of the numerator is smaller than the degree of the denominator, y equals 0. Now we will graph. First, make a table to see what your points will be. Substitute the x's to find the y values. First, mark your vertical asymptotes with dashes in x equals 7 and x equals 8. Then mark your horizontal asymptote and y equals 0. Plot your x and y intercepts, which are -7 over 4, 0, and 0, 1 over 8. Then plot the points of your table. Draw a line over the points and put arrows at the end of the lines. The domain will be negative infinity to 7, u, 7 to 8, u, 8 to infinity. The range will be negative infinity to 0, u, 0 to infinity.